I saw it a couple of different times in the theater. You know, I saw it at a press screening, and then I saw it. I took my nephews to go see it, and the scene that both times that I saw it theatrically, that everybody in the audience reacted to, whether it was the cold-hearted press or the the 8-year-old kids, was when you call in the cavalry at the end, and it's such a well-constructed scene. Visually, it's a great moment. The flare, the incoming Rex. Did you guys kind of have an idea when you were shooting that was going to be something that was going to be so effective? Because it wasn't just like the audiences went like, oh, that was cool. It was like the audience was like, hell yeah, it's time.
That's awesome. Yeah, that was the intention for that scene. I mean, when Colin originally pitched or kind of took me, I shouldn't say pitched the film, like I needed to be pitched, right? He's like, would you like to do this? I'm like, yes. Do you need to know about it? No.
Do I get eaten? I don't know.
I know.
It doesn't matter.
That was a question that I asked. I was like, do I die? But he talked about just the character and sort of like the massive journey that she goes on in the beginning of this story. You feel like this person has just never once walked in the jungle, and then by the end of it, she's like, like like the hero with the flare, like totally like saving the day, and that she really needs to kind of like earn that and get to that point, and that is the climactic moment of the story, and so we always went into this knowing that that was kind of the moment to do, and we actually took quite a lot of time to shoot that sequence. I mean, man, it felt like 2 weeks of night shooting or something. I mean, it was a lot to get it exactly right. So yeah, it was awesome that it had that level of payoff and that it worked, and it's really fun.
Well, I can imagine, hearing about it or hearing it pitched or reading it on the page is a little bit different when you're like, well, how are you going to execute it? And it's just visually done so well. The lighting is so dramatic, and the slow reveal of the Rex and everything. So like it played off very well, and I can only imagine as you were doing it, you were like okay, I think this is gonna work out. We're doing it right.
It was very precise. Like I remember that that Colin, even when he was like shooting my silhouette, he would be like, okay, move your elbow just a little bit back. And then when I watched back, I was like, whoa, that's a heroic stance. Like, he knew how to design that. Like he knew what that needed to look like and had that vision in his mind. And so it felt kind of epic while we were shooting it. And then the result was awesome.
Well, and something else that I like about that is that they don't blatantly say that she's the Rex from the very first movie.
Yes.
And that's something that I think a lot of people either missed or they found on repeat viewings where they're like, wait a minute, the scar's on the thing.
Do you know Josh Gad? Have you ever met Josh Gad? So Josh Gad is, I'm like name dropping. Josh Gad is my husband's best friend from kindergarten.
You literally said your name dropping, and then the Jurassic word fell off of that sign.
Okay, so like I was saying, I'm totally name dropping. That's intact.
Good.
But yeah, so Josh Gad is he's like one of our best friends and has been for a bajillion years and is the godfather of our kids and all of that. And so like he's awesome. I'm like qualifying the fact that I name dropped his name to be like I'm allowed to because he's family. But he went to the he was shooting Beauty and the Beast and went to the Paris premiere. Like he came like all the way from London to Paris to come to the Paris premiere, which was like so cool. And when it got to the end, he instantly realized that it was the T-Rex from the original film, and he started crying. He was like he was so moved by that. And it's awesome. It's like little details like that make all the difference in the world for like the diehard fans of the original film. And that's what's so fun about the Blu-ray and the DVD coming out on October 20th. Check it out because there's a ton of stuff like that people get to see, where they get to see sort of like what went into making the movie, and just stuff that I think that people that love these stories and love Michael Crichton and love the franchise are going to get excited by, especially the fact that there is a scene that I wish was in the film, but I understand why it's not. where I smear dinosaur poop all over my body, including my face.
So kind of a Predator scenario where you're hiding, you're like Schwarzenegger
And
covering yourself up.
You need to do it, yeah. But it's a really funny moment between Claire and Owen, and you get a little bit of insight into their dynamic and psychology.
Well, I mean, you've talked a little bit about Claire's character arc. She has the strongest one of the film, because Owen, you know, he starts strong and he ends strong. You know, Claire actually grows into her character. So where do you think she goes now? It's like, do you think that she's, you know, because it's weird, she gets to this point where she can finally be empathetic towards the animals in the park, but, you know, there's one, who knows if the park would even stay open after that, and two, she wouldn't be working there, I wouldn't think. So it's like, well, where do you see her? Where would you think that she goes from?
All I know is that the Claire that I love is the Claire that came out in that moment, you know, with the flare and the T-Rex, and I think that's the character that I'm really excited to play in the next film. And I don't know all the details of what Colin is cooking up, although he's so open and he shares so much. I'm like, am I supposed to know this? Like, is someone gonna come and like sedate me now until like 2018 because I know these things? But yeah, there's some very cool, very philosophical ideas that I think the characters are going to be grappling with and are going to be working through, and things that are concepts that are and ideas that are very relevant today in particular, and that was always kind of the story within the story, like even in the first novel in the Michael Crichton book, and that he was dealing with this story, this idea of human beings and dinosaurs coexisting at the same time. And you know, the human beings being the creators and the dinosaurs being the creation, and he was, I mean, there was a lot of adventure within that, and it's very entertaining, but it was about something more. And I think that's what is so why these films in some ways are kind of important and relevant and timely, and
why they connect audiences so much.
Yeah. It's not just a bunch of scares, you know. It's not a creature film. Like there's something more substantive about that, and I think that Claire's going to be dealing with quite a lot.
Cool. Well, I look forward to seeing what she deals with.
I hope so too. Yeah, me too. I can't wait.
I hope you get to cover yourself in poop some more.
Oh man, it's got to make it onto the into the actual movie this time.